Hi, this is Lois from No Cruise Control. This is my first vlog aboard Marella Explorer, a short cruise we took with Marella Cruises. I hope you enjoy. Hi, it's Lois from No Cruise Control. I am currently on my first Marella cruise. I'd ignorantly poo-hooed Marella even, a lot in the past. Not publicly, but to my husband and I, we were just like, I don't think it's really us. Yeah, I mean, I was ignorant, naive. It's a nice old ship. I mean, I say old, I don't mean that disrespectfully. She is an old ship. She was built, Marella Explorer was built in 1995. She's only 10 years older than me. 10 years younger, sorry, than me, God. Yeah, she's beautiful. Really, really nice ship. And she doesn't look... I mean, some of the things are a bit dated, but they're clean and they're tidy and they're working, so you really can't complain. The whole Marella aspect of it, in the queue yesterday we were amongst loads of families, loads of children, loads of families, but everyone was happy and cheerful and excited, and I can't fault that at all. Do you know, I don't have children. I'm not the youngest. The youngest in my side of the family, on my husband's side of the family, we have two nieces who we adore. But I'm not a massive fan of children. But they're also well behaved, and there's so much for them to do on here. I've not seen any children misbehave or anything. To be honest, I've not seen many children. But there were lots in the queue, and they were all, do you know, like really, you know, like there's some cruise lines I think people would whine and moan in the queue, but the kids all seem to be behaving, so I mean, it's a great first impression. We haven't we haven't holidayed with TUI for years. Like when we first got together and had just graduated, we would be up for like a really cheap sort of all-inclusive holiday to the Canaries, or that would be it, or Greece or Turkey, and we'd go with TUI. A cheap, cheerful holiday. And I just feel that we're back like that. And it's not anything disrespectful or anything, nothing bad. It's a nice, I mean, it's probably not cheap if you're coming as a family. I imagine it's quite expensive. But for just the two of us, it feels like a nice kind of cheap, cheerful breakaway. Definitely cheerful. People are so happy on this ship, and it's lovely to see. And I think after the last 18 months, it's just nice to see happy people, happy families, enjoying themselves. I mean, I don't see how anyone could find a fault in that. I'm not sure what the balcony cabins on the outsides and insides would be like on here, because we did book a suite. But the suite very much feels like a normal kind of balcony on other cruise lines. So, I don't know. But it's nice. It's nice. It's clean. It's tidy. What more can you ask for? You know, I wasn't coming on Marella expecting luxury, and I've love it. Basically, it's nice. Do you know? It's a nice, laid back, cheerful holiday or break. I don't think I'd come for longer than 3 nights. But I definitely would advise people with kids to come. I just think it seems brilliant. They seem really looked after. There seems to be... So, Dave is working on and off during this cruise. And so, because he has like an on-call element of his job and he's in charge of a whole fleet of trains, he needs to be, you know, not having drunk and not... and being within his right mind. And there is such a good choice of non-alcoholic cocktails. I mean, neither of us drink massively anyway, but it is really nice to have an all-inclusive drinks and just know that you can order something and there's going to be no big bill. And I imagine it's really good for families to budget what to spend on. And yeah, the drinks for non-alcoholic drinks, because of the kids, I imagine, there's a huge range of choice. I'll try and do some sort of blog post maybe to show you, but I mean, I know Emma Cruises has a really good blog post at what drinks were included, because I looked at it before coming on this. Yeah, I mean, first impressions of Marella, from my snobby, ignorant, naive feelings about it, I am absolutely really impressed. If you're someone who is just grateful to be on a cruise and happy somewhere clean, tidy, friendly. Like, yeah, you can't go wrong. I'd imagine people are not going to like it or not going to try it. So anyway, I thought I'd talk about embarkation and our first night on board. Yeah, so we stayed at the Hilton, I'm going to say it wrong, I'm sure, Algiers Bowl in Southampton the night before because Dave needed to work on Friday morning. Worked well. We had to check out of there at 11. Breakfast was nice there. Nice start to the cruise. We didn't get there till late on Thursday night because we both finished work in London on Thursday evening. But no, it was good. Good check-in. Room was nice. Comfortable. Breakfast was good. We went really early just because Dave wanted to do some work. So we used Penguin Parking in Southampton for this cruise. Now, we'd supposed to book ABP, I think, parking, but it was full. They did have disabled spaces left, but we're not, like, Dave has had a brain hemorrhage a few years ago and I mean, I could say mobility issues. He doesn't have mobility issues. He's done half marathons with me, but it's more manoeuvring maybe issues. You know, like opening car doors, and it's easier to have more space and stuff. But he's definitely, like, he would never see himself as disabled. I think other people would try and milk it, to be honest. But he is amazing and my inspiration. But anyway, he doesn't have a blue disabled badge, so we were like, we can't book those places because they're not for us. Even though the company were like, yeah, just book it, we were like, morally, that doesn't feel right. If there's someone that really needs the disabled space, we're not booking the disabled space. So we looked at alternatives. We wondered if the Hilton would let us park there. They said no, which is fair enough. They're busy, it's bank holiday, and the golf course, I didn't realise they had that there. Then ultimately our backup was going to be park in Southampton Airport and get a cab into the port. But then Dave found Penguin Cruise parking, which seems good so far. I mean, I'll let you know if the car's still around when we go back on Monday. But yeah, booking was easy. It was more expensive, but we'd messed up by not booking in enough time for Marella's partner parking, so can't complain. Yeah, he booked it. We drove there, found it quite easy, near IKEA, literally right by Marella Explorer. Like, it was right behind the car park. So it's like, oh, we could just open the fence and we walk through. But they took our cases off us, checked us in the car, parked the car. They've got our keys. Then they put us in a minibus and drove us to port and then just dropped us off. The same way you'd be dropped off if you were dropped off by a cab or a relative. Then what did we do then? We joined a queue then. So it was a minibus to port. It was literally minutes, not long at all. Really small queue. We joined the queue, and then there was like a man you took your case to, and there was a base you could stop to get luggage tags if you didn't have any. Very organised. TUI staff were then walking along the line, checking you had the correct paperwork, checking you had your passport, your vaccination proof, your boarding pass, and proof of insurance as well. So it's just to make sure that when you got to the desk inside and had to show this to someone, that you already had it. And they were also saying that reception in the inside wasn't the best, so if people had it on their phone to take screenshots, and people were listening, seemed to be working. So then inside we went to a desk where we showed the documents to a lady and had to hold them up and show them all because she wasn't allowed to touch them because of COVID and everything. But yeah, so they were all checked, and then when they were all checked and correct, you were sent to another table where you got given a sticker to go on you with a colour and a number and a letter. But I think the colour was the group of which you were in having your COVID test. I think the numbers were so that they could pick out, so that they could label your COVID test with those number and letter, and then they could call you or find you to pull you out if there, had been a false, inconclusive test or a positive test. I was sat, actually, digressing briefly, in the area where we wait for our test results to come back, and I was in my own little world, but Dave was saying that there was quite a few people pulled out and taken either to be retested or maybe sent home. I was oblivious to all this, but he noticed it. So in this table as well, where we were given stickers, we were also given a testing pack, to keep hold of. We then went through security. This is the same embarkation terminal as we did on MSC Virtuosa, so it was the same sort of setup really. So after security, they then went to testing. There was a little queue, but it didn't take long, and we were invited to board from 12 o'clock because we were in a junior suite. I think we ended up boarding about 12:30. So, but there were no times on your boarding pass, so actually anyone could have turned up at any time, which probably would, it wasn't delays for us, and I think everyone got on quite soon, and there wasn't that many of us. There's less. Well, I think there's either just under 1,000 or just over 1,000 people on board, so it was organised. And then, so you had your test kit with you. You then went into the sort of fenced off area for testing. You did your own test in your nose. Being a nurse, I'm pretty brutal, so I'm making myself sneeze. I'm going to do this test, I need to do it properly. I do find, now this is my 5th cruise since COVID's existence, I do find I'm a lot less nervous now. I'm just like, well, if it's positive, it's positive. I have to go and make everyone safe. Initially, the first few cruises I did really feel quite sick, thinking, oh my God, I could get this far and then get sent away. But yeah, yesterday I didn't feel nervous at all. I think it's just because I've done so many of them now that I'm just like, this is just something that needs to be done. I feel well. It's very unlikely I have COVID. Being a nurse, I'm an IT nurse, I'm regularly lateral flow testing. So, and I know, well, I suppose I don't know outside in public who I'm in contact with, but I know at work I'm not in contact with people with COVID because organ donation, it's a contraindication. So I'm never really with a patient with COVID anymore. But, it's just, I think it's going to be a way of cruising for the future now. But yeah, seemed to be very organised. So then after we had the tests done, we then went to the proper sort of check-in. Checked in, checked a card, cash card. It's really weird having solo cruise for the last 2 cruises. It's just always my card, and my husband's just there already with his card out. I'm like, oh, great, it's all on him. Then what did we do? Then we were sat down in a particular area. Lady showed you where exactly to sit, and then we waited. And then there was a bit of confusion because they called all the gold stickers forward just as us yellow ones were getting in. Yellow and gold, I think it depends on maybe your outlook on life. I was like, we're definitely yellow, we're not gold. But there was a lot of yellow people getting up all excited that their tests were already back, and bless them, all sent back. Probably not the best to do 2 kind of close colours next to each other, but yeah, it was, we didn't sit there for long, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and then we were invited to embark. So off we went inside, and then just checking my notes so I haven't forgotten something I wanted to tell you. Yeah, then we walked onto the ship. We came through the atrium on, which is lovely. Nice. And then we were like, well, let's go straight to our cabin, and our cards were our cabin anyway. So up we came to our cabin. Keys were in an envelope on the door, card each, and then the cases had already arrived and were here. That was good. The cases had arrived along the whole corridor actually, which is efficient. We then were like, oh, a bit hungry, let's go and eat something. So we went to the shack, which is only 2 decks below us. No, 1 deck below us. We went to the shack by the pool and had a burger and some chips, which was nice. Then we thought, well, let's have a drink. So had some, I think Coca-Cola, Pepsi. It's cola. I don't think it's branded stuff. But it's free and included in the price, so can't complain. Then I think I had a cocktail and Dave had a mocktail. I had a pina colada, which was very nice. A nice slushy one as well. Then we decided we should come back here to the cabin to do our e-muster, So there's a web-based app that Marella have that seems to be working really well. On that you do the muster, so we were able to watch, the video was playing on the TV as well, but it was on a round, so we watched it on Dave's phone and he was able to put that we had both watched it, and then the next part of your muster was to go to your actual muster station and swipe your card. So our muster station was Aperitif, seemed to be that area anyway, by the outside of the Steak and Turf restaurant, Surf and Turf restaurant, sorry. So we went down there and swiped our cards, and then that shows that we know where our muster is, so that is muster over. Later on, an announcement came across the whole ship with the captain, and he just did a sort of demonstration of the emergency signal. It was quite funny last night actually, because the PA system kept going on, and we definitely felt like we were back in like on a holiday on our sort of 20s in a beach sort of hotel. So the captain kept saying, if you don't like do the muster, then your card will be stopped, and you won't be able to order drinks or food. And I mean, they kept coming on and saying that, and it very much felt like a threat, like if you don't do your muster you won't get your alcohol. It's quite funny. I mean, it doesn't work with us because we're not interested in alcohol much, you know, the occasional drink, but would never drink to excess. But yeah, it felt very much like we're going to tell you off now if you don't do this. I think, you know, in other ships it's more like this is the law and we need it to be safe at sea, whereas here it was more, if you don't do this you won't get food or drink. Seemed to work though, everyone must have done it because we set sail. We went for a right old wander around really, took a few photos, had a little nose of the ship. It's only a small little ship, so it's nice to get our bearings, and I mean I think we've seen all parts of her already. After a wander yesterday and a wander today, which is beautiful. Like I say, even though she's built in 1995 and is, what, 27 years old about, she's beautiful. She's dated well. I know she will have refits and such like, but it's just a nice ship, good size, and seems to be well designed. Yeah, I mean, I have no faults with the ship. We then returned back to our balcony to sit down before to watch Sail Away. There was a party at the pool deck. We saw the beginning of that and it was fun. There was a lot of people in the pools, a lot of kids in the pools enjoying themselves, which was nice to see. There's a bar, literally the shack bar, just at the end of our corridor, so we bought a couple of soft drinks back to the cabin to enjoy for Sail Away. We had to get, well, Dave kind of set up the hammock for me, so it's all kind of folded away and he's just like hooked it up onto the other side. He's currently in it, fast asleep. I won't show you because I wouldn't want to be shown fast asleep, but yeah, it's late morning and he was reading the Kindle and now he's fast asleep. Yeah, I think I'd be worried about falling asleep in that hammock in case it tipped up, but yeah, it's a comfortable hammock. He obviously feels comfortable in it. He's, yeah, passed out. Yeah, I think it's nice to catch up on the old sleep debt. And what better way to do it in a hammock? It's not in the sun yet, but if he gets in the sun I might go and wake him. Don't want him getting burnt. I mean, the weather hasn't been that nice this morning. It was raining initially, but the sun is coming out now and it's looking beautiful, but he's in the shade. I'll be a nice wife, and if he gets into the sun I'll go, and I don't want him getting burnt, bless him. So yeah, we watched Sail Away from the balcony, which was weird. We were in Southampton, we were under a massive black cloud, but as soon as we came out of Southampton it moved and it was beautiful sunshine, like absolutely beautiful. I'll pop some photos up of the Sail Away, but it was just beautiful. You were just like, why could this not have happened hours ago? Dave had some phone calls, work conference calls to do before we went out for dinner. So he did those on the balcony, and then we went for dinner. So we went to Latitude 53, the main dining restaurant on the ship. We had exactly the same. We're very boring like that. We often order and we're like, oh, I'm having exactly the same as you. But that's good because it means neither of us have mammal syndrome of like, oh, I feel I'm missing out, yours looks better. So it's actually good in the long run. So to start, we had beef and sweet paprika soup with diced potatoes and vegetables, which was nice. Yeah, can't go wrong. Then for main, we had, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I'm sorry, Iberico pork Oscar, which was crab meat, asparagus and béarnaise sauce, potato gratin and glazed root veg, which was delicious as well, and big portions. And then for dessert we had a chocolate pot de creme, which was very orange sort of flavoured and had little orange segments on it, which was delicious. Dave wanted some cheese as well, so we had cheese to share. Well, the waiter gave it to him, but the idea was we shared it. And basically I got the blue cheese and he got the other cheese. Haven't been the biggest fan of blue cheese, but had quite a bit of it on Scarlet Lady last week with different meals. And actually, I don't know, they say as you get older your tastes change, don't they? Well, it tasted quite nice. I can imagine the Virgin Voyages blue cheese is probably a bit posher than the blue cheese on here, but the blue cheese on here was delicious to me. So service was fabulous throughout. Like, our water glasses never emptied. We were offered, well, any drink you wanted, wine, anything during dinner, but we just had soft drinks, but they were brought over. But water kept refilling, which was great. We then went for a drink in Indigo. We missed the theatre, but then we noticed going up to Indigo that it was being shown on the C screen, and then I've noticed in the cruise news leaflet that it's shown on the TV during the day as well, so I thought that was great because we quite fancy the Rock one tonight. I mean, I fancied the Elton John one last night, but just the way we ate dinner later and we'd missed it, and then we wanted to go to sleep really and we were quite tired. But yeah, it's handy that you can watch it up on the C screen outside. And apparently someone's told me that that is something they did before COVID, so I think that's really nice, especially if you're on a hot weather cruise and you know want to stay out and enjoy some fresh air. It's good call really to do that. Yeah, then we went to bed early. Peaked too soon. No, I mean, work and general life is early mornings and late nights, and yeah, it's nice to catch up on sleep. Nice little chocolate on the pillow. Service of the room seems to be twice a day. Some cruise lines only seem to be doing it once a day at the moment. Doesn't really bother me either way. But yeah, we've had the room turned twice. Yeah, woke up at 8:30 this morning on the phone, but then realised that it was on like French time and it was actually 7:30. But yeah, I'll talk about what happens tomorrow. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.